Hello and welcome to the agenda. I am Ajay Kaul. In this program today, we will discuss why the offset clause has been dropped in the government's new defense acquisition policy. There will now be no offset clause in any military deal undertaken through intergovernmental agreement, government to government, and ab initio single vendor. This change has been announced by the government as it found that the offset clause policy had not brought any critical technology to India and had only resulted in foreign vendors loading extra costs in contracts in single vendor or government to government deals. Significantly, the change in policy has been announced days after the CAG said French manufacturer of Rafale fighter plane had not fulfilled its offset commitment to transfer technology to India as part of the contract for 36 fighter jets. In the agenda today, we will try to understand what this significant change means. We have with us Dr. Ravi Gupta, former scientist and Director in Public Interface of DRDO, and retired Brigadier Vinod Datta. But before we start our conversation, let us have a look at this report.
In a significant change in defense acquisition policy, the government has decided to shed the offset clause in procurement of military equipment in deals done through intergovernment agreement, government to government, or an ab initio single vendor. Offsets, however, will continue to be part of multi-vendor competitive procurement contracts. Since the clause will not be there in the three categories, that is IGA, government to government, and ab initio single vendor, offsets are expected to reduce substantially. Under the offset clause introduced 15 years back, a foreign vendor was required to invest a part of the contract value in India. According to the government, the offset clause policy has not brought any critical technology to India and has only resulted in foreign vendors loading extra costs in contracts in single vendor or government to government deals. The government said changes in the defense procurement policy will not be retrospective and ongoing deals will not be impacted. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said the new policy has been aligned with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and empowering the Indian domestic industry through Make in India initiative with the ultimate aim of turning India into a global manufacturing hub. He said with the new foreign direct investment policy announced, the new defense acquisition policy has adequately included provisions to encourage FDI to establish manufacturing hubs both for import substitution and exports while protecting the interest of Indian domestic industry. Significantly, the new defense acquisition policy was unveiled days after the Comptroller and Auditor General in a report criticized the offset policy. It said it was found that the foreign vendors made various offset commitments to qualify for the main supply contract, but later were not earnest about fulfilling these commitments. The auditor noted that obtaining technology transfer has been a particular failure as 90% of the investment by the vendors was in the form of direct purchase of goods and services from the Indian industry. The CAG said of the total value of offsets, only 3.5% was contracted to be discharged through FDI. The CAG particularly referred to Dassault, the French manufacturer of Rafale fighter aircraft, for not fulfilling its offset commitment to transfer of technology to India as part of the 2016 contract for 36 combat planes. In a nutshell, the offset policy has been a failure. Bureau Report.
Now let's welcome our guests, Brigadier Datta and Dr. Gupta. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
So my first question is to Brigadier Datta. You have seen the change in the DAC policy. So what does it signify?
Well, it's a welcome shift that the offset clause has been taken away, because if you go back in history, if you see the Rafale deal only, you will realize that 50% was the offset clause which was there.
Right.
But we could only meet say about 30%. And as you rightly brought out, Ajay that it is unnecessarily increasing the cost of the contract. And a sizable money goes from our country to those countries, and they are not able to meet these contractual obligations. Secondly, it is also emphasized that the indigenous production should be it should be increased and it should be brought up to the mark. And it was seen that even when the FDI stakes were as high as from 49 to 72%, it was not giving any substantial dividends in our acquisition policy. And the equipment deficiencies, the equipment phasing out, and the equipment induction, all three stages, they were getting a hit. If you see most of the projects, like if you see the LCA project itself, it took more than 30 years, to reach an induction stage. Secondly, what we are not talking is about the helicopters. You see, we have been talking about Air Force, aircrafts that from 42 we have come down to 30 squadrons, and in another 2 years we are going to be 27 squadrons only. But there is a definite requirement which the Army has aired more than the Air Force, is that there is a deficiency of sizable helicopters, because the present workhorses, that is your Chetak, Cheetah aircrafts, are more than 40 years old. So they require a de-induction, they require a replacement, and the deals which have been signed by the Indian government, I mean, they have not taken off, or they have not reached, the stage where they should have been. So we are still very, very reactive. We are very, very consequential in our defense acquisition. We must make it more, guided by a strategic vision and a, prolonged induction phase, keeping in view the obsolete and the obsolescent item which will be phased out in the years to come.
Okay, now let me turn to Dr. Gupta. You heard Brigadier Datta talking about that offset has not been resulting into action. So government also says the same thing. But my question is it the failure on part of the vendor, or is it failure on part of the our system, or is it there is a trust deficit in the vendor about systems being manufactured in India?
See, I will put it that way. Whatever policy the government makes, the success of policy lies in the intentions. When the people who are actually implementing, if they are intending for imports, the imports take place. When they are intending for Atmanirbhar Bharat will happen. Now, what has been happening is that, okay, whatever kind of clauses were there, stage by stage, all these policies, when they were being formulated, first of all, policy itself, every now and then, every year or two, there was some amendment being made. Now, I must congratulate the present government. They have clearly mandated that this policy is now going to remain for 5 years. So that will make a big change. Now, coming to the offsets. Offsets, whatever clauses were there was no provision. When you are making the main contract, what happens to the offset? The offsets were left for future. That never happens. It is not when the offset and details of the offsets, if they are not part of the main contract, forget about it, nobody is going to fulfill. I mean, I won't blame the foreign vendor, because after all, they are there to make money. Why should they bother for creating self-reliance in India? They are concerned about selling their product to India. So when we are buying as a buyer, when we buy the original product, that is the time to negotiate. And I'm happy to see, at least in the documents, in this policy to 2020, a provision has been made that whatever offsets are there, like for when you are buying from the foreign private vendors, the offset clause will remain. And that offset contract has to be made at the same time when the main contract is being signed. It is a time to negotiate. in the past, whatever offset clause was mentioned at 30% and so, it was left for some time in future. That future never comes. At all, if at all the foreign vendor is going to give you something, it will be some kind of a low-end technology. Nobody is going to share high-end technology with us. With the way the offset clauses were pushed so far. So I welcome it it is a welcome change that when it is a government-to-government deal, unnecessarily if you put these clauses, it only enhances the value, the cost of the contract, and when you leave it for any future date, nothing comes, as it has happened in the case of Rafale.
Dr. Datta, Dr. Gupta, since you were with DRDO, so I will ask you a supplementary question on that. The government says that the offset clause has been removed for Atmanirbhar Bharat. But I remember when offset clause was introduced, it was also for Make in India, isn't it? So you may term it something else, but it was to encourage local domestic industry, no, isn't it? So how does it now change the game?
Very true. As I said, unless there is an intention to have self-reliance, whatever word you may coin, Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliance, I mean, we have been hearing these things for the last 70 years. Practically, what is happening? Every policy which was introduced in the name of self-reliance, it was twisted and used for making room for more and more imports. And I'm not saying it simply on the basis of the documents which are there. It speaks for itself. We have been world's largest importer of arms for so many years. Whereas our country has full capability. I'm not ready to accept that Indian industry, at least in the past 2 decades, our industry had all the potential and there is enough proof of it. Bharat Forge has joined with DRDO, developed a wonderful gun which has made world records, 80 AG. But intentions, where are the intentions? So many years have passed, testing, trials going on, and there is no end to trials. Similarly, our Indian industries, they participated in the ATVT program. The fully indigenous nuclear-powered submarine, which is an extremely complex system. Today we have it. So it is wrong to say that Indian industries do not have potential. Problem is that those offset clause, it was told that it is for building self-reliance. But my question is, okay, why was the clause for making that contract built into the main contract itself? Today, the many changes are. In fact, if you take a look at the defense procurement policy or defense acquisition policy procedures 2020, there are many clauses which are, if implemented with good intention, they will be very helpful in building Atmanirbhar Bharat. But my question is, why today? We should have done this 20 years ago when the first TPP came. Or maybe it's okay, you waited to 5 years, 6 years, then at least in the second or third revision they should have come. It never happened. All those things, they are very simple. You just take a look at, compare it with the first, second and the last 2016 and the present. Make a comparison, you will find that all these things could be visualized very easily and industry has been asking for them, but never implemented. So, the biggest problem is that of intention. Now, if the intentions today are right, Atmanirbhar Bharat will happen.
Okay, Brigadier Datta, so I will ask you the same question. When offset clause was introduced, it was to encourage Make in India. So how has it failed? As Dr. Gupta says that there was intention was lacking. Was it true? Is it true?
Yeah, I agree with him, 100%. It is, firstly, I want to highlight what he had said. We have the capability. We have the best of the brains. We have the infrastructure. What is lacking is accountability. What is lacking is involvement. What is lacking is vision. So, unless we have strict timelines where, people should be asked that, yes, you will meet the contractual obligations. If there are any slippages, they will be well informed. I mean, they should not be taken as a fait accompli. You see, what is happening is that, I have been telling in earlier debates also that we have the capability to, launch spacecrafts in a space mission, but we are not able to make even a, small arms system, the INSAS weapon system which was there. It is sad if you see today, we have signed for some US, rifles for our infantry soldiers. We have signed a contract with Israel for the light machine guns. So we have the infrastructure. We must encourage our indigenous production, and we must have strict timelines. Because you see, the international politics is not it is not time bound, or it is not predictive in nature. That our relations with so and so country will get SAR in 2023. So we have to be prepared 24/7, and our armory has to be full and functional. Unfortunately, what happens is the equipment also has got various stages. It has got an induction stage, it has got an exploitation stage, and then it has got a de-induction stage. And and we are now flying car to hum 15 साल में discard कर देते हैं, and the registration is not done. We are using helicopters and aircrafts which are more than 40 years old. So there is a time which has come that we must cut down on the imports, give a boost to our indigenous industries, and the offsets. Yes, definitely they were to boost up the indigenous production by technology transfer, by knowing the know-how, but it doesn't happen. Like in Rafale itself, we have paid the cost, but only 30% offsets have been received. So what is the use? And the opposition, when they are raising this point that the cost has gone up, I mean they are right, to an extent that yes, we have paid the entire price, but we have not got the dividends thereof. So what we must do is that we must be very, very strict with these timelines. We should be more friendly with the timelines and account, because there is no dearth of money in India. There is no dearth of money, but that chalta hai attitude, it should come to an end.
So, Brigadier Datta, I will refer you to the transfer of technology, which has been a key element in all the deals over the many years now. But why is it not translating into action? What is your view?
Ajay ji, I'll tell you one thing. You see, the character of any nation is also, derived and perceived from the conversations and the, kind of governance which we have. It has been perceived, or it is my, these are my personal views, that we are not very, very, time conscious. We are not, looking at a strategic vision. We are very, very myopic in our thinking. So what the other governments also feel, and since they are also, working through agents and our own agents, because there are, it is not that in history we had Mir Jafars and Jaychands. I mean, we still have some, bad sheeps. So they themselves go and give such kind of information that yes, you can delay the project, and we know how to circumvent a contract or this thing. So these things should be taken very seriously. If you take the case of helicopters, you see the contracts were signed, and 5 years have gone. We have not even reached a technical evaluation stage, and final contract is a far away. So what are we talking? In August 2018, we had a strategic partnership for 111 choppers, but RFP is yet to be issued. So if we have such kind of slippages, because you see these are very high-end technological items, you cannot they are not low-tech items that you can pick up off the shelf. या कहीं से उठा लिया आपने मायापुर या बटाला से बनवा लिया. No, it is not. So you have to have a very, very well documented, well mandated, and well timed guidelines to meet the contractual obligations, and they should be overseen right up to finality.
Okay, Dr. Gupta, when we talk about capacities, capabilities we have, and I earlier mentioned about the trust deficit. If you take the example of 126 MMRCA deal, which actually fell because French Dassault were not ready to trust our HAL. That's why I think the deal failed. So how do you answer that? And maybe when Brigadier Datta refers to slippages, how do you respond to that?
See, first of all, slippages are there not only in defense contracts, but they are there in the entire government sector. The flyover which is started, announced in one particular year, and next 10 years, it fails to take up. So that is because of the kind of bureaucracy, the kind of administrative system we have inherited from the Britishers. So long as Britishers were there, they knew how to circumvent it. If something has to be done, it will be done overnight. If they don't want it to happen, that famous Zafar's poem is there. कि दो आलतू में कट गए दो इंतजार में 2001 the MMRC project the go ahead was given, initial go ahead was given. That time NDA one government was there.
Right.
After that, how many governments came and went away? MMRCA never took place. So I think it is not fully correct to say that MMRCA contracts fell because of the trust deficit between HAL and Dassault. The reasons are totally separate. What transpired behind the scenes, we are not fully aware.
No, I
But yes, that was made an issue.
Dr. Gupta, I know.
Okay.
Dr. Gupta, I know that fell because of that, because 18 were to be bought flyaway conditions, and rest were to be manufactured by HAL in India. And Dassault said that we will not give the certificate for those which are to be manufactured by HAL, and that is why the deal crashed.
So you are right. You are right. This is what was announced. This is what was made public.
Yes.
You tell me one thing, Dassault has invested such a huge money in designing, developing and testing the aircraft, making it flight worthy. Why should they bother to give you the technology? Why should they transfer the production line to HAL? They would like to, if it is transferred to HAL, they lose the entire control. The control is with the government.
Right.
They will prefer that the control remains with a private person with whom they can manage well through various means. Because when it is a government sector company like HAL or any other DPSU, the control remains with the government. Today there is government headed by one party, tomorrow it will be headed by some other party. So whatever behind the scenes things have taken place with one party may not fall in line with the other party. So all those players, they will prefer to manage, work with the private player whom they can manipulate the way they like. But matter of fact is, yes, the efficiency of HAL is a separate issue. Efficiency can be increased, can be improved. After all, HAL has designed and developed an indigenous helicopter, which is one of the best helicopters. So I don't buy this argument that HAL lacks the capabilities or the efficiency. In fact, efficiencies have been deliberate.
No,
inefficiency.
Dr. Gupta, I am talking about trust deficit. I am not talking about capabilities. Trust deficit.
Trust deficit comes from there because Dassault also thought that HAL will not be able to deliver.
Yes.
This is what was projected. That is projected as a trust deficit. That Dassault lacked the trust in HAL. Matter of fact is that it was something else. They are simply making an excuse of trust deficit.
Okay.
There is when the same HAL has delivered so many aircraft, MiG-21s, MiG-23s, Sukhoi, why they cannot deliver this one also? And if there is some shortcoming, there can be why Dassault failed to specify that we are lacking trust because of the A, B, C, D, 5. Let them make a statement of 5 and points. It's why it is lacking.
Okay.
Matter of fact is that actual reason is not the trust deficit with the HAL, but because of the control over the technology. Whatever, first of all, they will never part with the entire high-end technology.
Right.
If you have to, coming back to the point of offset. Now, if you have to bargain, negotiate with a company in the high technology area, when you are signing the main document, that is the time to negotiate. That is the time you negotiate the offset also. Then they will transfer.
Okay, Dr. Gupta, we are running out of time. One last question I want to ask Brigadier Datta. When we talk about now offset clause will not be there, and now in intergovernmental deals and other things. So the issue is about spare parts. What happens? Suppose we are buying Rafale and all that. Then there is a crisis of spare parts. We have seen you were in Kargil. You must have seen what happened to Mirages. when we wanted ammunition for them and all that. So what happens to that?
Yeah, you see, that's a very pertinent question you have raised, Ajayji. It's very relevant. You see, what happens is once we are drafting these, contracts, I mean, we sometimes, miss out on the spare parts management. What had happened in C-130s and the Globe Masters also, that we signed the contract, but the spare parts management was not there. And there were times when, a fair number of aircrafts were AOG. They were, the aircraft on ground. So the Americans really, took us, by our, they twisted our tail, and we have to cough up a lot of money. So the spare parts management and the spares backup should also be an integral part of the contract, right, and it should be well specified. The what people lack is that the wastage pattern, you see, it differs from terrain to various areas. We are not able to, we generally go and succumb to the spare parts management or the support system or the numbers off, as they call it. Like if particular aircraft is operating, they will say, okay, this particular part will veer off at so many flying hours. So we go as per their scales. What we need is, and it was specified in the Kargil Review Committee, that the scales were revised post-Kargil. So what we have to do is that we have to follow our scales, we have to follow our wastage pattern, we have to see our terrain conditions and our weather conditions. So the spare parts management and contract are very important, as you have brought out, because there is no point like a firing pin. Though it is a very, very small item,
right,
but it is a vital item. It can really affect the sinews of war. Right. So we have to follow these guidelines, and we have to see that unless we have a good spare parts, unfortunately what happens is the material managers or the people from logistics, they are generally not taken on board when you are, or they are given a rough deal. Acha yaar, bana do kuch bhi. Right. And then, once you are put on the test bed or in the operational areas, then you realize, yes, the wastage pattern is high. The casualties of the equipment is quite high. And then we, start looking back.
It's a very important and interesting discussion. We would love to continue, but unfortunately our time is running out. Thank you both of you for participating in this debate. This is all in the agenda today. Thanks for watching. I will be back with another important topic tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.